T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
Is there anybody out there that wants to roll? And is there anybody out there that wants to boogie? Tonight, live from the Apollo, Glasgow.
Well, if you're looking for trouble, I'm the man to see. If you're looking for satisfaction, the satisfaction guaranteed. I'm as cool as a body on ice. Hotter than the rolling dice. Send you to heaven, or take you to hell. I ain't fooling, can't you tell? I'm a live wire.
Hello. I got caught there. Hello, folks, and welcome to the third Glasgow Apollo live broadcast. How are you doing? My name's Scott MacArthur.
And my name is Andy Muir. Good evening.
How you doing,
Good
guys?
afternoon. Good morning.
Morning. What's the weather like in Sydney, mate? What's the weather like?
It's lovely. It's lovely right now, but later on it'll be scorchio.
Oh, right, okay. It's freezing. I mean, I'm in deep England here, but it's freezing, man. Maybe I'm getting soft. Anyway, guys, got a lot to get through tonight. It's been a terrific week on the site. So if you don't mind, we'll just dive right in. We've got quite a bit of stuff to get through tonight and got some news as well. So, Andy, how's the Facebook group been going this week?
Going great. We have a good turnout of people this week. It's about 78, maybe 80 people joining. And there's been about 6,000 active members, which is pretty
6,000?
Pretty mad. Yeah. Well, this week. So
Good Lord.
Just under 6,000, which is pretty amazing, really.
Good Lord.
That's people looking in and commenting and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Unbelievable. Folks, if you're joining us, and I can see there's loads of you already, stick your name and where you're from in the comments, and I can get your name check. Hi Dougie, hi Steve, how you doing? Thanks for coming in, folks. Right, well, we're going to start with a bit of an announcement. We've been working away in the background, and we've managed to pull together a YouTube channel for the Apollo, and I'm just going to post it now into the group. Hold on, I'll just do this first. There you go. Right, it's off. It's on. What we've tried to do there is we've put the shows that we've done on there and the little clips that Andy and I produce. But then what we've done is we've started to go through YouTube, and we've set up some playlists. So we've tried to get all the Jack's recordings, which some of you are familiar with, in there. There's about 50 of them that I can find so far. I've found a load of videos that I've stuck in there. So what we hope it's going to be is the definitive place to go for Glasgow Apollo music and video and memorabilia, as well as for our show. So I hope you enjoy it, folks. Have a look. Andy's done this. You see this? Andy's pulled together one of these collages of all the tickets. I think it looks magic. We're not sure about the middle bit yet, but we're happy with the ticket bit. But that's the sort of the banner on the YouTube channel. So we need 100 subscribers so we can change the name of it to www.youtube.com/Glasgow Apollo. So if you get a minute, go across and subscribe to it, so we can actually customize the name, because as you can see from if you're looking at the Facebook group just now, it's a bloody mess. I don't know how you're supposed to communicate that with anybody, but we kind of change it until we get 100 subs. So if you can, guys, it would be fantastic. Be fantastic, and I hope you get as much fun out of that as we've had pulling it together. If there's stuff missing, and there is no doubt there is stuff missing, let us know. And if you could do that via the email address, and I'll stick that onto the screen just now. If you could just send us a note and let us know what we've missed, or a link, and Andy and I will make sure it goes on. So who have we got here? Oh my goodness, we've got Graham McDonald, watcher from Las Vegas. Hi Graham, how you doing? Baltic here as well. Freaking desert. Excellent. And we've got Doug
Nice.
Forrest. Hello, another one from Los Angeles. What's going on here? We've got the Glasgow Apollo Los Angeles Club. Makes us sound not quite so exotic, Andy. Anyway, thanks for saying hello, guys. So in terms of what's been happening, there's been a lot happening in terms of the Facebook group, and there's a couple of things that really tickled their fancy. So I'm gonna stick them up because I think they're well worth talking about. We had this happens. I went back and looked at the history of the site over about the last 2 or 3 years, and every now and again there's a Kiss fan appears, and it's happened again. And wait a minute, where's my thing? I've got it somewhere here. I'll show you this picture. There you go. This is some of the autographs to the Kiss guys that we got through. We got a note from Robin Curry talking about Kiss. I know the debate's gone wild. There's definitely a bit of a mixed response about Kiss out there in Apollo land. Were you at the 2 gigs, Andy?
Didn't go to
gigs?
Kiss because I didn't really like them.
Say that again.
I didn't like Kiss.
I
didn't go.
I saw them on what was that show? That Jonathan King. Do you remember that Jonathan King show? What was it called?
Yes.
Late at Night. I can't remember what it was called. I saw them on that, and I thought they were like clowns. But everybody was talking about it, and I remember buying a ticket. I think it was the first one, guys. You'll tell me, but it's the one with the tank, the drum kit was on, and it came out to the front of the stage and was doing all of this. I think that was the first one, but I might be wrong. Animalize, I don't know. I thought they were gash. I thought they were terrible. And then when I heard I enjoyed the night. The night was brilliant because the atmosphere was incredible. But then when sorry,
who was the support?
It was Bon Jovi,
right?
And smashed them. I mean, I know. Oh, I can't believe. I mean, these days I wouldn't listen to them, but they were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant that night. They smashed them off the stage, in my opinion. But still, Kiss were brilliant. And I know me saying that the music was terrible will create this hailstorm.
Well, you are.
We're getting that there, mate. Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, if I don't like it. I can't make myself like it.
Well, I went because there were this. It's another thing that I don't know if everybody remembers. We're going to talk about ZZ Top in a minute as well, but a lot of these bands couldn't afford the ticket. We couldn't afford the tickets, not the tickets, the music. So you had to hear them on like little bits on the telly, which was obviously once in a blue moon because you were a rock fan. But also you had it on Tom Russell, and he played. I remember him playing "Runaway" by Bon Jovi, and I thought they were quite good.
Yeah,
and
I remember
that. Yeah, and that's why I went to see Kiss the first time. The second time, I think it was because one of our mates wanted to go again. But anyway, so that's. What you saying?
Did Bon Jovi come in that night? After when did Kiss play?
Oh, 83 and 84, I think, or 82 and 83. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Did Bon Jovi come in that night come into Tom Russell and do an interview? Because I remember.
I think they did, and I think from memory, was he not at the Kelvin Grove Festival as well? Did he not turn up at the Kelvin Grove Festival that weekend? I think he did.
I can't remember. Maybe
it's all mixing in my head now, guys. So I remember that. Anyway, that was one long debate we had. So I thought it was quite entertaining watching it on the website. It was quite funny. The next thing that came up, and it's come up from a few folk, was the fact that the Jam played this week, and we had Linda Maxwell and Lenny Gara talking about the Jam gig 38 years ago. I mean, Judas Priest. And it's quite funny because when you guys were talking about it, I'll be honest, I didn't like the Jam, and I hated the Style Council. I thought they were appalling. But both Andy and I, we listened to it, didn't we? The recording. And I listened to the whole thing.
Very good.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And so that was another thing that kicked off a bit of a debate. But there's a couple of funny ones, guys, that I just have to mention these. There was Frank McKenzie, right? Frank, brilliant. I was absolutely wetting myself when I read this. Frank wrote his granny queued for him for the Deep Purple tickets back in the early 70s. And the Glasgow choir let her go to the front of the queue. I thought it was a brilliant one. Did you know of one in that as well, Andy? Similar to that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, what's his name? Stewart.
Yeah.
Stewart. Stewart. Someone anyway. Michael Stewart. He put on that thread there. I think he was saying that he queued up to see David Bowie. I think with his dad. Maybe I'm not sure if his brother was there too, but he said he was pretty young, maybe 13 or 12 or 13, and he had his pajamas on underneath and a balaclava, a woolies balaclava and gloves. And I was like taking it too far, and I was being brilliant if he had a lightning bolt on his balaclava. That would have been so good. But yeah, anyway, that would have been good. Yeah.
I like Stuart's an AC/DC fan. I think he's more a David Bowie fan and Roxy Music fan. But
Yeah.
it would have been good anyway.
I thought it was great that we've got that, and he did mention that he'd forgotten about it, and the previous post had prompted that as memory.
Yeah, it was
which
brilliant.
probably made it pretty nice.
And here's Steve Hall saying, yeah, Bon Jovi did turn up at Kelvin Grove. I thought he did. I had this memory. I wonder if there's any photographs of that, because I've never seen any pictures of it. I know Tom Russell had a few, but I've never seen any pictures of it. What's this here? Who's this here? Graham McDonald saying, calling Dr. McCalman. What's that? Dr. John McCalman. White courtesy phone. Please pick it up. What's that?
That's I think that might be, I don't know, but is that I don't know. Is that whiskey?
I didn't ken. Well, it's Macallan, isn't it? Oh dear, you've been too smart for us, Graham. Too smart for us. And then we've got Chris Welsh.
And can the person who's saying, is that an Epiphone? You're correct. It is an Epiphone.
Don't get him playing it. Don't get him playing it. Oh, here he goes. I knew you would. I'm
not going to play it. I've got 3 chords. That's it.
So that was that was certainly two of the things that came in this week. There was another one that I thought was quite funny. Yes, and I've got the ticket here. Rod Stewart. We got Irene Foster wrote in, and she said on the 26th of November 1980 she went to her one and only concert at the Glasgow Apollo, and it was Rod Stewart. It must have been dead good, because 3 weeks ago she emigrated to Canada. So I'm not quite sure how that must have been like, but so that was basically what came in this week, guys. Let me just put it back. See if I think I've got a ticket for that.
All right,
there you go.
So there's someone explaining what John McCallum is.
Ah, right. I'll put that on the screen. Hold on.
No support artiste.
I know. I saw that. I thought it was quite funny as well.
That's pretty
I
good.
thought it was quite funny, but I haven't heard a recording of that. I don't know if there is a recording of that show. Saw Rod Stewart a few times. I mean, he's one of these guys. He always sat at the edge of different types of music, and I remember seeing him at Parkhead with Status Quo, Joe Cocker, Squeeze. I think there was somebody else. That Canadian bloke who's quite famous. Everything I Do, him. And he was brilliant. Boy, Rod Stewart. He was absolutely brilliant. Anyway, okay. So next up, who played this week, Andy? Who played this week?
Well, I'm going to start off. Today, 37 years ago, I went to see Y&T and Rock Goddess. Now, I've just found out that you went to see Y&T and Rock Goddess, but we were on opposite sides of the theatre. I was on the stage left. I was looking. Yeah. I was on the left-hand side looking at the stage, and then you were on the right. But the thing I remember about that gig was I remember nothing about Rock Goddess. Nothing. I watched some live stuff of them yesterday. I've got no idea. I can't remember anything. But when I would see, they were okay. When I remember watching it, and I was going, I've got no idea what the Dave Meniketti was playing. There was this part where he did this guitar solo, and he did something weird. He switched off one of the pickups. He was doing some mad guitar thing, and I was going, that is pretty good. You know, I was 16. Yeah. And then I remember the drum solo from Leonard Hayes, which was he'd never seen it on stage, and I'm lucky I saw it because he probably is a way back.
Yeah.
Briefly way back, I was looking at the stage, so I don't know if I saw it, I'm just imagining it, but I remember the drum solo. That was a good gig. Also, ZZ Top, as you played this week, and played, and The Jam, we talked about that. There was Robert Plant played this week too, and we listened to anyway. There was a unofficial recording, Jack, unofficial recording of that gig yesterday night. That's a brilliant gig, and there's a little bit at the end there that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Stranglers played as well. That's good. And also Shakin' Stevens, I think.
Did he?
Yep.
Excellent.
He played. Yeah.
The Stranglers gig.
And yes, there's heaps like Rod Stewart.
Is there more?
Heaps.
All right, on you go. Sorry.
Cliff Richard started a 3-night run or something, I think,
Right.
or 4-night. So he was doing 4 nights today, 4
Jesus.
nights this week. That would have been if you're a Cliff Richard fan,
Yeah,
you'd have
you're
loved
right.
it. Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
David
What's it?
Norwood saying Y&T gig. Yeah, I was there. Brilliant gig. Yeah, it was, David. It's brilliant. Sorry, Andy, interrupted you.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah. Status Quo played it.
Did they?
Yep.
What year? You got that handy?
77, 43 years ago.
Jeez.
43. Yeah. That would have been a good gig. And there's lots of bands. Lots of David Essex. For the one
Watch
for the one for the ladies, the cheeky chappy.
I remember.
Don't let me go.
Here he goes. There's a song he did. I can't pronounce it. Is it Myfanway, the girl's name? Myfanway. I think it's the most awful song ever made.
Hey, you think everything's
Oh,
awful?
here we go. We're going to have an argument again. But honestly, the guys from Talisman, if they're on, some of them are into that sort of thing, and one of them said, "Oh, it's brilliant." I'm going, I can't get my head around it. You know, when you get a song that you can't get your head around, and you go, "Why do people like this?" I couldn't get my head around it.
It's just not quite your thing. That's all it is.
Just not quite my thing, right?
Yeah.
There was 2 of those gigs. Well, ZZ Top.
Yep.
They had just done Donington, and I was there, and they were brilliant. And I think there's a lot of activity in the group today. Last week, Sean Young, etc. But talking about it was the first time we'd seen. Certainly, Sean had seen Green Lasers. And that's the first time I'd ever seen them. And there was a brilliant bit. If folks haven't been on the Facebook group, there was a bit of the show where they obviously had a mannequin up in the lighting rig, and there was quite a loud gasp when this mannequin fell down and hit the floor, wasn't there, Andy? You remember that?
Yeah, because I think they had a roadie climb up.
Aye.
So he climbed up a ladder, and then, or like a rope ladder or something, and then the light went off, and then the dummy just fell down, and it was like, wow, what the hell? Did you see that? What happened there? Yeah.
It was
really good.
Really, really good gig. And I remember there was a lot of guys. Somebody said on the Facebook group, actually, there was guys wearing lab coats. I'm assuming that's from back in the day when they used to do all those weird animal videos before they became famous in the UK. But it was quite funny. It's a great gig. And I went to see them last year. In fact, it might have been one of the last gigs I saw before lockdown. I went to see them at Wembley. And it was really minimalistic. They didn't have anything at all. They had just 2 mic stands, basically. And, they were in I think they're in their 70s now. And they were brilliant.
Yeah.
They were absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's a shame they never played that many times in the UK. I know they played a couple of times.
I just remembered something. I was sorry. This is weird. I was reading Smash Hits.
Oh my God!
From I don't know, a long time ago. Be 40 odd years ago. It was a PDF of it, and it was talking about that Cliff Richard show, and it said, Cliff, has he still got it when he's 39? So he would have been 39, but now It was like 41 years ago. So he's 80 now, and he's still going. I think
He is.
he's still
Just
going.
brought an album out. Just brought an album out.
Is that a Christmas
Yeah.
album?
It gives me the dry bulk. I mean, I just.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry.
Just
And here's change the subject quick. David Renfrew's saying Tangerine Dream used lasers on the Cyclone tour in '78. There you go. Certainly, the first time I saw him was ZZ Top. So that shows you. And I quite like Tangerine Dream actually. You don't hear a lot about them. At least I don't. I think they're a pretty good band actually.
yeah, they're great.
They're an amazing soundtracks. I love their soundtracks. They're absolutely fantastic. So the other one, the one that I know Graham Watson started a bit of a chat on this on Facebook. He was talking about the Stranglers. And yeah, gosh, it was a famous night because it was a night where one of the crowd was dancing down the front, I presume, and the excellent bouncers decided he was getting kicked out for it, so they took him out. Now I think the front guy was JJ. I can't remember his name. But anyway, the crowd went mad. The band stopped. It said in the Facebook group there was a crowd invasion on the stage, but how the hell would they get up? Anyway, I believe you like, but I'd like to have seen that. We're having a laser debate here. Ian Bears just said ELO used lasers in '76. We're going to have a thing on the website when the first lasers were used that day. So anyway, back to Stranglers. So the crowd went a bit mental, apparently, and the band refused to play, and they only started again when the guy got brought back in and he was in one of the boxes.
Right.
That's a magic story. Absolutely brilliant.
I think it was the bass player.
Was it?
Wanted to fight or take on the bouncers because I think he does martial arts and stuff, so he's probably able to handle himself.
All right, I see. Go on.
But I think he sorry, he was wanting to take them on. Yeah. When he saw the guy getting hockled out again.
There's that word, hockled again. I remember. I mean, guys, you might remember better than me.
JJ.
There you go. Yeah. Thanks, Doug. I think the same thing happened a few times, didn't it? I remember. I think it happened at Iron Maiden as well. The Bruce Dickinson just sat at the front of the stage and said the band weren't playing until the bouncers let the fans down the front. It was probably a little ruse that they had between them. But maybe not. The bouncers were a bit psycho. I hope we get some bouncers in. I think we've had a couple of guys in that have been bouncers, so I'd quite like to talk to them about it. See what they remember.
Check out that. Yeah, there was a crowd invasion. Karate black belt. Okay, cool.
All right. Okay. Gosh, you guys know a lot about these bands. It's amazing.
Well, if they're fans, they're gonna know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right. So that's it in terms of the bands that played this week. Who have we not spoken anything about at all? We're not really. There's a couple of more I know. We're going to play one at the end. I'm going to finish one of the bands that played this week.
Well, we haven't spoken about Boxcar Willie.
Boxcar Willie. I don't know what to say about Boxcar Willie.
Me neither, but I'm pretty sure someone must have got to see him.
Oh, they must have done.
And I wonder if they're here. Yeah.
There's a good suggestion from John. Hi, John. How you doing? Willie Potts might be able to help regarding the first lasers. Brilliant. We're having a laser debate. I love it. Haven't seen Willie tonight. Right, now.
Yeah.
Normally we talk about, we've been calling this bit sticky carpets, but we'll do it differently tonight because we've got the kit working, as I hope you've noticed. And rather than talking about it, we've got a video. Now, some of you might have seen this, but I know there's a lot of folk don't use Facebook. So if you have seen it, have another look. It's only a couple of minutes, but we're going to play a video. Now, this is from a gig that I think some of you might have been at. Wow. That was I hadn't seen that until about 3 weeks ago. And I always thought he was like a sort of funny version of Rob Halford from Judas Priest. Have you heard his new song?
Nope, have not.
It's really, really good. I mean, it's proper good. I was never a fan, but really, it seems to be a bit like Depeche Mode as well. I didn't like them when they were young, but now I think they're brilliant. You know, they've kind of changed their sound, but it's all personal, isn't it? But wasn't it brilliant? It was great. Remember last week we were talking about that side entrance.
Yes.
It's quite cool seeing that side entrance again, because it's so long ago now that I can't remember a lot of it. So it was quite cool seeing that video.
Yeah.
And if you look on was anybody at it? Let's have a look.
They're all
at it, but
I was unsure as if what he was saying. I couldn't quite hear it.
He's got a massive following. There's loads of Apollo folk love him.
I know.
But who's at it this week? Who's at it this week giving me abuse? Yeah.
His pronunciation is great. The greatest.
You sound like my dad. Don't understand a word you're saying. Right. Anyway, I hope you. Sorry.
Is he speaking English, that boy? Yeah.
Oh dear. I'm very sorry. If anyone's a Gary Newman fan, or Gary, if you're tuning in, I'm very sorry. And actually, there's a story behind that. When we first launched the website 17 years ago,
What's the address?
What?
What's the address?
Oh, piss off. www.glasgowapollo.com. Thank you. That's very helpful. This is like off the ball, isn't it? We just need to talk nonsense all night. Anyway,
not off the ball.
We launched the website, and I've talked about that before. And quite seriously, it was a weird experience. I was having my breakfast one morning, sitting at the table with my two now older kids and my ex-wife Julie, and the phone rang, and Julie answered the phone, and she picked the phone up and she said, "Oh, Scott, it's Gary for you. And guess what's coming, can't you?" And I went, "Gary who?" She said, "It's Gary Newman." The bugger phoned me. He got my number and he called me and he said, "I'd love to talk to you about the Apollo." And we did an interview. It's on the website. So it's one of the weird things that's happened with us. So no, we might be giving him a bit of abuse, but I think he's great. And,
and in that video, you could, if anyone hasn't been to the Apollo or hadn't been to the Apollo, you can see the height of the stage at that point. You can see the height, how far anyone was from the audience.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Sort of like really high.
What's this one here? Somebody's saying, have you seen this, Andy? The one about he married his stalker.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
Do you know that's called a
weirdo?
A stan is a stalker fan.
Oh, I see. Right. God.
Yeah.
That's very odd. And Doug Forrest has said that actually, Doug, you remind me of something as well. Doug's talking about going to see the Stranglers, which were brilliant. At one gig, Co were playing at the Palladium on the same night, and there was some good-natured crap getting thrown at them from the long line of people in black all the way down Renfield Street. Yeah, I remember that as well. I think it was who was playing the Palladium? I think it was Toya or something was playing at the Apollo. And I think it was the night we went to see. It was either Marillion or one of the blues guitar. Who was the blind blues guitarist? There's quite a few of them. Jeff Healey. And the same sort of thing was happening that night. There was some stuff going down. But Doug, you've reminded. I'd forgotten about that and how there used to be abuse between all the tribes. I was talking to my eldest son about that. And how we used to have these tribes, and they've all kind of gone now. He says he can't even relate to it. He's 22. And somebody actually said on the website this week on the Facebook group that they miss the fact that there's somebody giving us a compliment, I think. No off the ball blows. Thank you. I'm taking that as a compliment. Thank you very much.
Right. He might say, and this blows harder.
God, Chris is saying he did marry that fan, and he's still married today. That's good on him. Good on him. I think I've heard once or twice before. Anyway, guys, we've come to the end. We've got one more thing for you. Two more things. One is about 3 weeks ago, a couple of you, well, 10 of you, asked if we could do a Zoom call afterwards just for a chat and a beer. We're going to try that this week. I've put the link to the Zoom in the comments on the Facebook group, so please join us. We'll hang up in about 10 minutes and then you can come in there and have a chat. It's not me and Andy doing the chat, and it's just a chat amongst everybody. We can ask questions or whatever you want to do. Be delighted if you fancy that with a beer in particular. But we're going. Oh, here's another one here. Hold on before I finish. What's this saying? Ian Baird. Was it Gary Newman's first ever live show at the Apollo 79, supported by OMD? Oh, OMD have been nice. That would have been quite a good show.
That I think I'll post something on about that gig on the Facebook group later on.
You got something?
But the Gary Newman gig. Yeah.
Okay.
From my Smartets reading.
Here's another one. Ollie, I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. Ollie's saying, I have a great recording of Cove and Apollo 82 on their 20th anniversary tour. I was there. Broadcast by Radio Clyde. Yeah. This recording is miles better than the recording from the Birmingham NEC that was released on album. That was the Prince Charles one, wasn't it? My question, did Radio Clyde do other bands as well? I think that's what you're trying to say. That yes, they did hundreds of them. Yeah, hundreds of them. Did the local radio station used to interview the bands before the gig?
Yes.
After you, Andy?
Yes, they certainly did. Yeah, they certainly did. Tom Russell I used to love listening to, well, probably I still do, but listen to Tom Russell. He used to do lots of interviews with bands. Yeah, whoever came into town, he would interview. I'm sure there was other interviews. Maybe if it was a pop band, it would be another DJ would do it. But pretty sure there's lots of interviews. And Radio Clyde did record lots of gigs, and there was a record label at one point which I'm not sure is still going. It might still be going. It was called River Recordings.
River Records.
And River Records, sorry, and they had the rights to all of that Radio Clyde recorded. I'm not sure how they got them or what they're doing with them now. Who's got those rights? No. But I see sometimes an occasional release. I posted a link on Facebook to the River Records recording of Nazareth gig at the Apollo.
Saw that, mate.
So, but there's hundreds of gigs that were recorded, and not just rock, like pop.
Oh no, all sorts. I mean, I think the River Records story at the time was quite frustrating for us because we tried at one point to see if we could get a best of Apollo gigs album released. Because the recordings were just, remember that, and they wouldn't give us them, and then River Records appeared and they released like Leo Sayer, and they didn't. It was mainly sort of middle of the road stuff they released. I think there's a Kate Bush one as well, though. So there was it was a good mix, and it went bust. And I think somebody does know. I think somebody told me on the group that. I mean, I know River went bust. But it would have been great to get hold of them. I'll tell you what we'll do. Maybe try and get Tom Russell to come on one night and we'll have a chat with Tom. I'll ask Tom if he'll come on. Don't know him that well, but we know him well enough. He knows who we are. Because it'd be good to talk to Tom about it, wouldn't it?
He's doing a show right now, so.
He is, but he could record it, mate. We could record
Yeah.
But I noticed on another thing on Facebook, the Tommy Vance Rock Show, there's guys doing a bit like what Jack McCafferty's doing for the Apollo. Jack McCafferty, incidentally, is the guy who runs the Apollo recordings, the Lost Recordings Facebook group. And I can't remember the name of it. Andy, if you can remember the name of it, I can't remember.
Rescued
Recordings. And there's another guy on Facebook who's doing Tommy's shows TV on the radio, his rock show, Friday Night Rock Show. And I haven't seen that for Tom Russell yet. I would imagine somebody will do it eventually, because they're all out there, these recordings, and they used to interview all the bands. I've got some as well, actually. I've got Alice Cooper and various bits and pieces.
I used to have some.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Right. If you don't mind, I'm just going to stick some. There's quite a few more comments, guys. I'll just see if I can get through a few more of these before we play out. Incidentally, I'm sorry your names aren't coming up on the stream. There's an issue with the software I use. They promised me it's going to be fixed within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So hopefully your names will be on the screen rather than me having to jump between them. It's not fair on you guys. You're contributing. This is a really good question. Does anyone know why AC/DC 78 show, which was filmed, was never released in full? I've seen 4 clips on YouTube. No. And Andy and I were talking about this last week, because even on YouTube, there's not well, there might be one, and I might need to do it myself, but there isn't a consolidated one. So it's all broken down into bits, which is a pain for putting on the YouTube channel. So I don't know why. It's never been released. It must be there, but I mean, I don't know if you've heard anything, Andy, have you?
No, I haven't. But presumably the whole thing is there.
Yeah. The other story that I mean, it's almost like it's like one of these Apollo myths. But the Quo gig, the 76 Quo gig that got made into the double album, the famous double album, there's a very strong rumor that was filmed as well. And in fact, I have spoken to somebody that says he's got it.
Yeah. All right. I think that record. I just looked at a record. I was looking on Wikipedia about that record today, and there's a quote from Francis Rossi, and he says that is the worst record we've ever done. I mean, come on, mate! It's a brilliant record.
Got through a hole in its head.
It was. I think it was an amalgamation of the 2 or 3 gigs from the run of shows that they did.
Yeah. I've actually got the guys from Talisman, and we're going to work out how to do this as a competition one night. I've got one of the stickers, a spare one of the stickers that they gave to every member of the crowd. Got it here. Andy, entertain them. I'll show them. Hold on, I'll just get it.
All right. I don't know what he's doing, but anyway. So that gig was that would have been a really good gig to go to.
There's that. And this thing here, all the fans that went to the gig got one of these.
How did you get that?
I got that from the Talisman guys. And
did they find them when in the building?
They did. And when they were going around the building at the end, there was all these tickets and that sort of thing lying around, and they grabbed a big wad of them. So I've got half a dozen of them. I've got them in a guitar case somewhere. But we'll give one away, because I know a lot of co-fans would love one of them, so we're going to give one of them away in one of these weeks. And let's see what else I've got here before we finish. Anyone remember seeing a team of Motorhead fans chasing a poor wee mod on his scooter halfway down Renfield Street? I don't remember that. I can imagine it though. Ollie's saying he's got the sticker. Yeah, it's quite an iconic sticker. That quite iconic. Okay, so guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Brilliant as ever. So many questions. It's terrific. So we really appreciate that. To finish with, we promised we'd start doing this, and we tried to do it last week, but of course we were kiboshed by the technology. But this week, everything's working. There was someone else who played this week who came out of the shadows of a great Scotsman, in my opinion, and became one of the most famous guitarists of all time. And this is probably his most famous song as well. So I'm going to finish with a bit of Eric Clapton, recorded at the Glasgow Apollo. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Please subscribe, pop over to the YouTube thing and subscribe. Thanks, guys. That's lovely. I'm getting all these little love hearts coming up here, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Sorry?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're too far away. You need to move back to the UK so there's no this delay. It's a nightmare. Anyway, so this is Eric Clapton playing his absolute classic. But as I say, please go over to the YouTube thing. I hope you find it really useful. I think it's looking great. Bit more of work to do on it, but we're getting there. And I hope some of you join us for a wee chat on Zoom after the show. All right, guys. See you next week.
All right. See ya. Bye.
my knees. Hey, love. Make it, darling, please. Hey, love. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind? Tried to give you consolation. No man had let you down. Like a fool, fell in love with you. Turned my whole world upside down. Hey, love. Got me on my knees. Hey, love. Begging, darling, please. Hey, love. Darling, won't you ease my worried mind? Make the best of this situation.